May I now have your attention for our distinguished guest, Mr. Henrik Hololei, Director General at the European Commission, DG Move. Mr. Hololei, welcome, and thank you for accepting our invitation today to lead the story of the SESAR deployment ATM modernization journey. Please, Mr. Hololei, the floor is yours.
It's a real pleasure to be here, and good morning to members and partners of the SESAR Deployment Manager. For me, it's really an honor to take part in the SDM annual event, and I know that it might be great to think that thanks to digital opportunities, I'm able to reach out to you. But believe me, I would have so much preferred to be here or there in person and with other persons, and to talk to you at the meeting venue, feeling also at the same time the presence of people and emotions. There are just some things that cannot be replicated through digital means, and human contact is definitely one of them. Nevertheless, I'm glad that I can at least virtually reach out to the vast SESAR deployment family. This year's meeting is a very special event because it represents a landmark for what a pioneering and highly motivated partnership can achieve, especially when embarking in an unprecedented venture with many difficult challenges along the way. A landmark, but definitely not the end of the venture. SESAR deployment is part of a comprehensive ATM innovation cycle that, thanks to our combined efforts, is shaping a new vision, a new future for air transport, the digital European sky. If there is something good about the crisis, then it has made the aviation value network to work more closely together and overcome the differences that have been present for a long time. There is one common goal: restore aviation, recover from the crisis, and thrive in the future, with the aim to achieve a more sustainable, smarter, and resilient sector. And that should drive our close cooperation forward. The second characteristics, as the word cycle suggests, is continuity. Not a passive one, but rather an evolutionary continuity through which we learn from the actions and develop new thoughts to improve them, to make them more effective. All phases of the cycle are fundamental and equally important. However, let us face it, the deployment phase generates the highest expectations. And it also generates highest pressure, as all want the new solutions to be deployed soon and across the board. A timely and successful deployment proves that the solutions resulting from R&D and industrialization can make a difference, and that all the efforts dedicated to them have paid off. It's a gateway for innovation to make its way into operations. The deployment manager and you all have done a great job in this pilot phase of the SESAR deployment framework, and we have gained an invaluable experience on how to synchronize the deployment of the most important ATM functionalities over the entire network. Nicholas, you and your team, with the support of your members, have developed the first European SESAR deployment program, assisting and advising stakeholders on its implementation. Congratulations for this impressive work and for setting a solid basis for the future. You have become a central reference for an evolving partnership, allowing the active participation of industry in the deployment process. You have supported setting up over 300 implementation projects that you have coordinated and monitored, acting as a single and reliable interface with INEA. And I'm sure that afterwards Dirk can also elaborate on that. Deployment manager has been a very important interlocutor, always good to even repeat it if needed, between the Commission and the operational stakeholders when the COVID pandemic surged, anticipating its effects on the deployment plans and helping us to define mitigation measures, but most of all, keeping the partnership united. I also appreciate the valuable and timely advice and reporting on the implementation of pilot common project and the important technological enablers such as data link services and ADSP. Your work and the work of all implementing partners have provided important feedback, raising awareness on shortcomings in all phases and processes of the innovation cycle. Yes, there have been things that could have turned out better. There's nothing wrong with recognizing shortcomings. What is important, however, is that we learn from them, correct them, and find renewed motivation and ambition to do better. Data link is one of those examples. But what is important is that we learned from the process, took the necessary action, and put it back on track together. The SESAR Deployment Alliance has also evolved over these past 5 years. The initial consortium became a single legal entity. It has continuously developed its organization to ensure better connection and cooperation with the operational stakeholders, with the Commission and INEA, and with many other aviation organizations. It has developed a sustainable in-house expertise in managing multi-stakeholder projects and coordinating union grants. These efforts for an evolutionary continuity reflect the high level of commitment of the SESAR Deployment Alliance staff and members. Thank you. With all this experience, we should now close this pilot exercise and continue our venture with a renewed confidence and awareness, adapting ourselves to an evolving context largely affected by the pandemic. And we are doing it through different initiatives. In November, we will still present to our member states our proposal for Common Project 1, resulted from a thorough review of the pilot Common Project. And by the way, I would say a gift for today's event, this morning, the Single European Sky adopted it with consensus. Great. It was really a great achievement, and I think very well marking our event today with a positive spirit. We have also used this review to adapt and clarify many provisions related to the SESAR deployment framework, including the deployment manager, in particular to help coordinate the work of all partners that implement projects. These adoptions and Common Project 1 take into account the recommendations also of the European Court of Auditors on the readiness for implementation of some functionalities or on their need for synchronized deployment. Our ambition is that Common Project 1 sets the benchmark for future common projects, and now it is there to do so. As you well know, we are also at the end of Union's multi-annual financial framework, and consequently at the end of the framework partnership agreement we have awarded to the SESAR Deployment Alliance. We will have to select a new deployment manager next year through an open competition according to the setup prescribed in the law. This would be an opportunity to give new impetus to the SESAR deployment governance building on the existing experience and achievements. There is a need to integrate a stronger operational dimension through a reinforced participation of the network manager in the work of the deployment manager. More active cooperation with the network manager is also an opportunity to prepare the path for the future infrastructure manager role, which we have already envisaged in our amended SES2 proposal. We also see the need for a stronger role for EASA in addressing the industrialization gap that has been a major cause for deployment delays and better involve Eurocar. However, it's not a new start, it's rather an evolution to ensure a more effective continuity of the ATM innovation cycle. I expect that the future deployment manager will take full advantage of and build upon the experience, the know-how, and the stakeholder confidence that the SESAR Deployment Alliance has achieved over the past years. The appointment of the new deployment manager is part of a wider renewal process that comprises the update of the European ATM Master Plan the review of the pilot common project, and the preparation of the new SESAR-3 joint undertaking. Furthermore, next year, the European Parliament and the Council will adopt the new Connecting Europe Facility and Horizon Europe funding programs. This means that within the next year or so, we will have the main implementing and funding instruments of the entire SESAR ecosystem. Moreover, the SES2 Plus proposal, which now enshrines SESAR as the Union's ATM modernization project, better connects SESAR deployment with the performance scheme through the performance plans. This is what is needed to pave the way to future success and to further success. The future SES project aims to have clearer, stable objectives and priorities defined in the ATM master plan. Its research and deployment activities will focus on delivering highly mature solutions that facilitate industrialization processes. And as a result, SESAR solutions should be deployed faster. All these initiatives are important to ensure that the Single European Sky and SESAR fully and effectively contribute to the digital and environmental priorities of the Commission's Green Deal. Dear friends, the next steps are coming very soon and understandably absorb much of our attention. But we must also maintain focus on the present. The SESAR Deployment Alliance is still the deployment manager and has some challenging tasks ahead during its last mandate under the current Framework Partnership Agreement. Just to mention one, the update of deployment program following the adoption of the Common Project 1. I still have many expectations from you, and I know I can also count on you as I have over the last 6 years. I would also like here to wholeheartedly thank Nicholas for his work and for his commitment. You have been a good and reliable partner for us, and together with your team, we have done many good things together. I would like to conclude by congratulating you for the excellent work you are doing and for your commitment to SESAR and the Single Sky as a whole. I fully understand the challenges you are experiencing, and I appreciate even more your efforts under these conditions. As I said in the beginning, partnerships and continuity are the key factors underlying the SESAR project, and the Commission will continue to support both. Thank you once again for your kind attention. Apologies also for the technical challenges that we had, but again, these are among the signs of current time. I wish you a very successful and, of course, thought-provoking event to come. Stay well, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you very much once again, Mr. Hololei, for taking the time to guide us through the future of the SESAR Deployment Manager function, ensuring further continuation towards a scalable and environmentally sustainable ATM system in the near future.